Hey guys, and welcome back to Become a God. This is a new edition. This is for the Fall of Everlife expansion. And today I'm going to show you a deck. And I'm not proud of this deck. I'm pretty disappointed in myself for making this deck because it's absolutely disgusting. It's a dirty deck. Horrible, nasty. You don't really want to play this deck because it's that horrible. But it's very good because I've climbed to God rank with this deck. And it follows the old style of red events. I don't know if you guys remember it. You might have seen this kind of thing before, but basically you play Divine Guardians, and then you play a bunch of removal and Hellfire. But what Fall of the Everlife brought to the table for this deck were two cards. Havoc, which is just 5 Faeria killer guy in most cases, unless they have a specific keyword or lots of health. So Faeria Golems can dodge it, but you know, you got other ways to deal with the Faeria Golems. So yeah, 5 mana, 9 damage to a creature. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good rate as well. You can kill a lot of stuff with this card. Like even if you were to kill like a 6 life, 6 Faeria creature, that's still 1 Faeria advantage. But most of the times, it's just good. It's just going to kill a guy. And you're going to be able to control the board very easily with this card. It kills Colossus, you know, Windborn Champions. It kills Shedim Brute with a Gift of Steel on it. This card's very good. So you can clear a lot of creatures with it. The second card that I've included in this build is the new Red Legendary, simply because it's just something to build towards with the lands. You know, I'm playing Crystal Flyer in this anyway, so I figured add another mountain, you get the Havoc, and then you could get the 5/5 that can give you a Hammer of Destruction to your hand, which is 5 damage. It's just 5 damage anyway, so that's even more burn. And it's a threat as well. It's just that creature you put down. It's a 5/5. You can challenge a few things on board. It has protection as well, so it's quite durable. And demands to be answered because if it manages to walk onto those lands, it can be quite deadly. Now, I've added also a neutral card to this, which is the Shadow Silk Fairy. So this deck has tons of events, so I want to be able to draw those events quite easily. And put a creature down is pretty good. It's a 2 Faeria Protection Harvester, so it kind of fills that same kind of harvester role as Divine Guardian, but has the added bonus of being able to move onto that land and just dig 2 events out of the deck. And this is just going to be removal. Lots and lots of removal. And so far this deck has been performing exceptionally well. I believe I'm like 6-1 with it. Maybe even higher than that is very good. Anyway, that's me yapping a lot about this deck. Obviously, there's new cards that have come into the game. I just want to explain why I put them in the deck. Most of the other stuff is just removal. Just good old-fashioned removal with the Crystal Flyer thrown in as well. Just in case a threat is too big, you know, that Faeria Golem dodging the Havoc. But there's also Derelict Tower that also helps ping things down. So yeah, let's get into some matches. And you can see why I think this deck is very dirty. And yeah, let's see how it performs. Alright guys, first match. Lots of removal in hand already, but I like the hard mulligan for a Divine Guardian. The one flaw of this deck so far I've noticed is you can get the Shadow Silk Fairies and the Havocs quite early. It's not always great. I might just keep a Firebomb actually, just so we've got some removal. So, lots and lots of removal here. We want that Divine Guardian. Shadow Silk Fairy a little slow, only 4 lands down. I've actually considered adding fire elementals into this, but kind of, I don't know, it's not very durable. You know, I want my creatures to be able to just withstand a beating. But my opponent is playing slow. This is great. We can just play slow. The slower our opponent plays, the better the deck is. So faster decks that don't rely on a lot of special lands can be problematic. But here, I'm in a pretty good spot. Yeah, this is pretty good for me because I can build a mountain here, explore mountain, and then have the Shadow Silk Fairy try and get on this land. So that's what we're going to gear up for. Now, I wouldn't usually build like this, funnily enough. I want to get in between the wells. I want to get the Divine Guardian down, collect lots of Faeria. And my opponent does build here. I'm actually just going to go here instead now. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. We can just block this off. Put the Shadow Silk Fairies. There's a lot of fairies in this game. Yep. Now, I might Derelict Tower, actually. Derelict Tower and just start pinging away at this guard. I like Derelict Tower in this deck simply because it gives me a lot of preemptive setups for removal. So I can play the Derelict Tower, just like ping a guy for 1 and then set up a Firebomb or set up a Havoc, you know, set up a Havoc on a Farian Golem or something. So it does help because now I can Firebomb this and I don't need to use like Hellfire or like Firestorms, or I could potentially line up a Firestorm and pick up another Derelict Tower. Against red, I'm not too sure how durable this really is. I played against red rush earlier, and I managed to keep this alive quite easily. But the problem my opponent had was he just didn't have any Faeria to react with. He was just so like focused on trying to get creatures on board. Didn't really have the time to try and set up removal here. But yeah, we'll take those events. Thank you very much. Take a mountain here. We're just gonna double collect. We don't. I actually beat someone down with 2 Shadow Silveries earlier. I didn't have any damage in hand. I was just like, well, I'll just kill everything he plays and just hit him with the Shadow Silks. So they can do other things. Yeah, we'll go for the removal there, and then actually, I think I might just go for Hellfire. Always go for Hellfire and empty boards. It's pretty good because it's just guaranteed 9 damage, right? We actually have lethal on board now between a second Hellfire and these two. Not gonna happen, very unlikely. But if you can find a moment to squeeze in a Hellfire and get all that damage going to the orb, go for it. It's gonna be worthwhile. You have time. You have plenty of time in this deck, especially with Divine Guardian. So Garadan coming down is a 6/6. Garadan into the Bomb Slinger. Well, Shadow Silk's got the value. I don't really care. And then we just got a full clear. This is pretty good. Yeah, I can actually... Do I go for the draw? That's the question. I haven't got any collectors, so I'd like to... I'm probably going to +1 here. We'll take the Havoc. Boom. Sorry, Garadan. Ping the monster and +1. And we'll just gear up towards another Hellfire in the near future. We need a Divine Guardian, actually. Maybe I should have taken the draw there just to try and get a Harvester down. Yeah, we'll take it. I should have taken the draw. Didn't find it anyway, so let's crack on to the next turn. One of the hardest things I find with this deck is managing your draw on your Faeria. Now, do you draw towards a creature to accelerate the Faeria gain, or do you +1 to gear towards like Firestorm or Hellfire? Oh, this is pretty durable actually. But I can take care of it. I could Hellfire. And then +1 Cypher's Wrath if it lives. But I have another Hellfire in hand. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, that was pretty clean. I'll go for a +1 there. I didn't want to Cypher's Wrath Havoc because I want this to deal damage. You know, that's the goal. I want to deal as much damage as possible. And Havoc, you know, I want this to be a clean 5 Faeria clear. Like, I don't want to invest too much else. Hellfire there was okay. You know, it didn't do its maximum damage, but it pushed my opponent further into the kill zone. You know, Flame Burst range and cards like that. I have just Firebomb for this now, which is pretty good. I can just like Firebomb +1. I could double Cypher's Wrath. That's an option too, but I'd rather keep these at the moment. I could +1 Firestorm. Like, there's a few options. But I feel like +1 Firebomb is pretty good. Just get rid of it. Not interested. That's pretty much what you do in the deck. You just kill everything. Might as well, right? You've got the removal. See, this is it. This is the Havoc, man. This is where I want to see my Havocs going. Just nuking stuff like the Ground Shakers. Right, we're gonna +1, and then yeah, we're just gonna Havoc it. Boom, you're gone. Big old 9 damage. Opponent passes here because it doesn't have enough Faeria to play anything. Another thing to consider as well with this deck, and this was the same with the old build as well. You're trying to starve your opponent out so they miss a turn, and that gives you a turn. If you have a collector like a Divine Guardian, ideally you can get ahead with Faeria. Now, in this situation, it's not really possible for me, so I'm just going to +1 and pass. I really need to get that Divine Guardian down and start double collecting. A bit of an overdraw there. I almost did it myself, to be fair. I was looking at that draw button thinking, if only I could get a Divine Guardian, but I didn't want to risk it, so I went for the +1. Okay. +1 pass. Into the win. Pretty good. I'll take it. There we have it. That's pretty much the deck. Like, most of the skill involved is kind of just like micromanaging your resources and knowing which removal pieces to use. You know, I had my biggest decision in that match was, do I Cypher's Wrath into Havoc or do I just Hellfire? Do I even care that much if the Baldurian gets the hammer? Not much, not really in that situation. I also had, because I was on 8 Faeria, I had Hellfire +1 Cypher's Wrath, so I had like a backup plan. The Hellfire was like the biggest choice I had there, and it did pay off in the end. And we take the win. Let's get into another match. Alright guys, another match here. I'm gonna throw these away. I kind of like keeping Firebomb. It gives me some good early removal options. Ugh, this is not it. This is not what I want right now. Don't double Havoc. Oh no. But we'll work with it. Hopefully our opponent's playing a slow deck. Might be able to get away with it. Like I said in the first match, I believe, the slower the deck, the better. Or was that the last match? Actually, I think that was the last match. Goes to the Air Elemental. Okay. Yellow Flyer's picking up in popularity recently from what I can tell. I am not going to Firebomb this. I can pick up far more efficient removal. I could also Hellfire if my opponent doesn't play anything else. And that's just 7 damage to the opponent. And I'm fine with that. Manta Rider coming down nice and early. Have a Firebomb. Okay. So I'm in the interesting predicament where Firebomb's just not quite good enough. I guess I have to throw it here. I guess I have to Firebomb this. I wasn't expecting... I guess I should have expected a Manta Rider, but I was hoping there wasn't a Manta Rider. Something like another Air Elemental, something with low life, so I could just, like, Hellfire both of them down, but Manta Rider just complicated the matter. Takes a draw. Flashwind is online, can take the extra collection. Okay. Okay, not a card I expect to see, ever, really. But, okay. I can see what's going on here. Right, we're just going to build towards these Havocs. This probably is a Hellfire turn. I just need a stop collection on the left-hand side. Don't want to Firebomb. I guess I could Firebomb this preemptively. That is also an option. But I'd rather Firebomb... There's not much point, because if I Firebomb this, it's going to double collect anyway. I could pass. I could give the Faeria to my opponent. It's a lot of Faeria to work with. Hellfire's only realistically stopping 1 collection. But my opponent's gone up to 7 Faeria. Is 8 Faeria really a big deal? I don't feel like we should Hellfire here. Let's give the Faeria to my opponent. Maybe I'll pick up a Firestorm. Firestorm would be very good in the situation. Takes a draw. Probably not going to invest anything into the board. I like it. Oh, Crystal Flower, fantastic. So now I can Crystal Flower this and then Hellfire. Very good option here. Because I get a really high damage Hellfire. I'll take my last mountain. I should get this just to get this down. And then we have Hellfire. So this is going to deal good old 8 damage. Then we can pass. What's the follow-up? Probably another Manta Rider. Air Elemental, okay. This Drake is really good. This is a really good card. But it's not gonna happen. I'm just gonna Firebomb it. Try and get some time back. It's gonna be difficult. I'm probably in a situation where I just have to let a double collection happen on the right. Oh, that's not too bad. That's only 3 collects. That's not 4. So maybe this is a turn I just wait it out. Go to +1. +1 doesn't really help me here. I need to find a firestorm. So let's get digging. Okay, flame burst. Let's pass. Not having Divine Guardian really hurts this deck. And it's funny because on my climb to God, I had the luxury of picking up Divine Guardian pretty often. But we are just gearing towards the Firestorm. That's what we need right now. Flame Burst, not what we need. Cypher's Wrath, that's fine. Take the Cypher's Wrath here. Could even take the Flame Burst. But I can actually kill my opponent. How many pings can I put in this? I could probably get 2 pings off. It's pretty close, actually. Okay. Well, we'll just pass for now. We're going to keep grabbing resources. Hopefully finding what we need to finish the game. This Manta Rider comes online very soon. It's in a bit of an awkward position for me to set up another Crystal Flyer if I draw one. Divine Guardian, not too helpful now. It's a bit late in the game for Divine Guardians. Maybe I just take Hellfire to try and deal as much damage here as possible to get the double Flame Burst off. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll see where this Hellfire goes first. Yep, that's fine for me. Alright, +1. Now we're just gearing up for the double Flame Burst finish. A lot of Faeria on my opponent's side. Might be an Emperor's Command. Emperor's Command might just top my opponent up. It's going to be a big problem for us. Not quite there yet for lethal. I'll probably just give my opponent something to hit. Like I can... Where am I at? +1. I could use the Divine Guardian as a blocker, +1. Then I go up to 6 Faeria, then I can double Flame Burst to finish off. So just make sure I don't take enough, the damage to kill me. But is it worth it? Do I just wait? I don't know. Like I don't think my opponent can kill me. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe. It's pretty safe unless my opponent heals, because if I +1, I'm going to be on 3 Faeria. I'm going to gain 3 Faeria my next turn. I'm going to stick it here just to make life awkward. Then again, this can't actually come in and hit me. So maybe I stick it here. And I'm not too transparent here in my wing condition. I'm still playing stuff down. 18, sitting on 18 Faeria. Just waiting for this Flame Burst. Flash Wind. Yeah, okay. Let's take care of Divine Guardian. 5 damage. 2 damage. Maybe go back, collect, play another guy. Yep. Oh, cheeky. I like it. Very nice. Alright, so that does make things interesting. Because maybe I should have considered a Derelict Tower instead. Go for the Derelict Tower? I don't know, actually. That wouldn't have been enough. Derelict Tower ping. Divine Guardian. No, that's just dead. I mean, it's not too bad. It was actually a pretty good option if I have to deal with this. But it doesn't give me enough time, really. This is a 2-turn clock, just these two guys. So well played to my opponent there, sussing me out there with the Soul Drain on the own creature there. Very smart, playing around that double Flame Burst. But yeah, I was kind of playing around, well, I was just playing into, does my opponent have Soul Drain at this point? The Manta Riders are really tough to deal with. You know, Flyer's got a massive buff with that new Flyer, the new June Drake. It's just like a better version of June Drake. But yeah, excellent. Good match from that Flyers. Looking like a strong deck. We're starting to see a lot of different decks on ladder, a lot of experimentation. Let's get into our next match. Alright guys, another match. Divine Guardian. Feels good. That's where we want to start. We want to see this. You know what? I've been keeping firebombs. That's just a misplay. I should just be hard mulligan for the Divine Guardians. Straight up. That's what I need to do. So what is our opponent playing? Blue. That's good. I like blue. Don't have healing. Mountain, and let's get into these wells. I love this new little animation for Divine. It's very cool because it's just like a friendly reminder as well. Yeah, you can't target this one. Don't plan your turns around targeting this creature. It's not gonna work. You can see the divinity radiating off our Divine Guardian here. Yep, we can take a mountain. Yeah, we're gonna just move in. I'm actually gonna just Flame Burst this. I'm just gonna kill everything that's played. Try getting to double collection. What's next? No, Hellfire is pretty good because it gives us around 9 damage to work with, I'll say. Ooh, Crystal Flower, that's very good. Okay. Divine Guardian, you've made your trip to the wells. Let's see if we can stay there. We got Crystal Flower, we're going to be just fine. We're just going to swallow the next creature that comes down. Probably a Herald. No, it's a Ninja Toad. Uh-oh. Is there a Campfire? Can't be an Elderwood Embrace. Ah, okay. Okay, that's cool. Alright. Takes care of that problem. We do have an answer, fortunately. And now we can go into the Hellfire, take care of Aurora, and deal some damage to our opponent. And then turn. Could have actually maybe I should have Scyther's Raft. I do have Baldarian, but I like taking these opportunities. Yeah, maybe Baldarian was a little better there. Give me something to work with. That's what the Yak pulled. That's interesting. What if I Baldarian, double collected, then I could have Hellfired? Yep, we're gonna have to pass here. That's still 7 Faeria. This is I spent 7 Faeria to clear, and this is 7 Faeria as well. Oh, this has haste. So if this is power up, I could be in a bit of trouble. I'm gonna have to play Baldarian down here, just to challenge this, and then I can Scyther's Raft it, finish it off. Although, I do have a problem of this little Yak. Not a lot of Faeria. +1. Scyther's Raft. Let's take care of this. Okay, Frogify. Don't exist right now. I just don't be anywhere near me. I don't want this to get Frogify. This is my last hope. I need the Ninja Toad to tank this. I need the Ninja Toad to take the hit. Water Elemental, you jump in, you do the thing. Ninja Toad, you take care of this before it becomes a problem. And then I can just Cypher's Wrath this on the follow-up. Okay. Safeguard. Safeguard on the Ninja Toad. I'd be like, no! Cannot stop it. It's gonna move up. 3-5 jump. Nice and durable. So this is interesting. I can just +1 Cypher's Wrath this. Put this into a position. See, this something could be played here and I don't get to draw the events. So I feel actually I play it here. I miss a collection, but I do dig deeper into my deck and I could potentially draw Flame Burst. And that's gonna be a big part of my win condition right now. Goes for the forest. Get the yak in a good place, I guess. Is that just another octopus? Potentially. Deepwood Stalker, okay. Knocking off that. Knocking off my protection. Oh, I see. Very smart. Alright, let's see what we find. I need to gear up for. I need to get a Firestorm. I'm in that position again where I need Firestorm. Goes for this Court Jester. Elderwood Embrace. Yeah, this is just gonna be a wrap, guys. I don't think I can come back here. But yeah, well played. Green blue, doing pretty good. Running into a lot of heals. Even if it's just soul draining their own creature. Still heal. Still kind of outmaps me in my damage output. Yeah, but there we have it. Another win on the board. For our opponent, not doing great. Let's get into another game. Alright guys, another match. We're going to throw everything away here. We're going to look for that Divine Guide. You know, we do find one. Fantastic. So we can get started off with the collection. It's really important. We do need a lot of Faeria. It's a combo removal. Set this up now. And hopefully I can get this deck going. Ever since I started recording, I haven't had the opportunity to show you how oppressive this deck can be, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the Faeria world is not giving in to this oppression, and they're just like, yeah, we're not having another Aqua. I'm gonna destroy your deck and make sure you never play it again. And I'm probably not gonna play it again. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Like I kind of like decks like this. I like these kind of hard control decks, but I do appreciate that they can be a little frustrating to play against. Ooh, double Cypher's Wrath. That's a good case. All right. Now, as you notice, I do build in between the wells, and this acts as two benefits. The one benefit being I get to double collect and just remove my opponent's threats as they show up. But the second benefit is I do get the Shadow Silk Faeria near an opponent's land, so I can trigger its corruption ability and draw those 2 extra events. And this is what I use the card for. It doubles up as a collector, but it's also a way for me to thin my deck and find those events, which can be very useful. Right. This is a problem. It's actually a bit of a problem for us. I do want to take another land. I do want to set this up, but the problem is I can't really do it because my opponent's just going to move here and not give me the land to work with. I'm going to take a draw instead. Right, that is what I want to see. Let's just back out, you know, I don't want to get involved with this Ancient Herald. But moves here, has a sunken tower, still going to be in a good position. Interesting lake placement. Prophet of the Tide. Not a card we see very often anymore. Used to be one of the reasons blue was so strong back in the day, being able to move lands around. Okay. Bit of an awkward situation. I need to build towards 5 lands. The problem I have right now is the Firestorm's a bit strange. I still can go in the middle here, actually, I think. Actually, I'm going to send the Silk Faeria over. Maybe send it over here in the future. We are going to go for the Firestorm. It's a little awkward, which is okay, I guess. Then we go for the Silk Faeria. I could try and move onto this lake. And then we have Baldarian to challenge the Herald. So that could be a follow-up play for us. Especially if we pick up Firestorm, we're in a pretty good spot. Tale of the Old Turtle. I like it. Anytime I see cards that don't get played much, I'm always very happy. Is that a Darkstalker? It's a ruby fish! A little fish is actually a bit of a pain. It looks like I've got a Hellfire this turn, guys. Killed the fish. I'm British. Fish and chips is a staple of our diet. Here, give me those events. I want them. Cool. Okay. And then I guess we have one more land to get, so we can build it into the wild. So we can pass. I'm gonna move this back here next turn, probably to move the double collection on the right hand side. One of the nice designs of Shadow Silk I really like. It has a lot of mobility which lets it get onto lands, but it can be a bit more difficult to trigger the corruption and set up a collector on the other side of the map. We often see flyers, you know, move into the other side of the board and kind of collecting as they'd like. But Shadow Silk Faeria has a kind of a design restriction for itself, you know, make sure it doesn't get the protection, the double collection, you know, the events. You have to choose. Do you want the events? Do you want the Faeria? Here, I wanted the events. Just want more gas, but I can now take the time to move it over here. Really feel bad for this poor little guy. I guess we just Cypher's Wrath it, right? Yeah, Cypher's Wrath. Move this. Move this here. Move this here. Go for +1. Then we'll pass. I don't want to play the Baldarian just yet. I want to have enough Faeria to drop a Havoc, maybe combo a Firebomb with it if I need to kill something else. Gonna be a Herald. Nice clean Havoc there for me. That's good. Oh, and another Faeria. Fantastic. So we can just clear this out. Move over to the collection spot. And we can just stick this Shadow Silk Faeria here. Which gives us... I'm actually collecting a lot of Faeria now. Maybe we take a draw. That's fine. Okay. Take the Shadow Silk Faeria. Now this deck is not finished. Like, it could use some refining. I think Garadan has a home in here. Maybe drop a Crystal Flower. I don't know. Like I said, it's just an idea. It made me think of the old Red Events deck, and I wanted to try something. Darkstalker. Nice and easy clear there with a Firebomb. There's also a Hellfire, which should just wrap things up. Very close. Should draw Flame, maybe draw Flame Burst. No. That's fine. And have it. Just set up lethal there. The next turn, we're in a very strong position here. And there you have it, thrown in the towel. Yeah, good game. That was the deck at its best, I think. I had a lot of good targets for my removal. The double Cypher's Wrath was just amazing, because those Gabrian commanders were very dangerous for my Divine Guardian. But yeah, pretty good. Pretty happy with that result. Let's keep going. Alright guys, into another match here. I mulliganed everything and hoping to find that Divine Guardian. Didn't find it, so now I'm just gonna have to build my lands and just use my removal. Now we have played before today. My opponent does have an idea of what I'm doing now, which is interesting because I think this deck probably works strongest when your opponent doesn't know what's going on. Before they know they've taken too much damage and is the end. And this is actually, I believe this opponent was the game where my Voldurium was proved to be really strong. Cypher's Wrath off the top, that's so powerful, just taking care of that air elemental, stopping the collection, but also netting a little bit of damage along the way. So what is next? Desert into pass. I'll take it. Alright. Now, do I want to go into the wells or do I just control my own space? I'm going to move into the wells. I've been doing it more recently. Actually, I believe moving to the wells is pretty strong because it does allow me to kind of stop my opponent build lands on this side. It just has to use the flyers, which I think is just fine. Good clean answer in the Flame Burst Cypher's Wrath, but it's a double combo removal. I do have the option of just gearing towards a Crystal Flower, and this is probably an opportunity for me to go on the other side and build a Crystal Flower just so it's out of Wind Soldier range. Let's just do that. It's cheaper in Faeria, it's better in card advantage as well. And it's just going to sit there for a few turns, and maybe I'll pick up like a Firestorm and can deal with it much easier. Wingborn Champion. Now, I was playing earlier against Yellow Flyers, and it was literally every champion. He played 3 champions in a row, and it was just Havoc, Havoc, Crystal Flower. And it was kind of sad, really. I felt bad. Maybe a little bit. So yeah, Havoc this. Boom, it's gone. Got all the lands we need to play Havoc, so we can play Baldarian now. Shadow Silks, Crystal Flowers, you can see. So we're set for lands. This gives us the opportunity to draw cards or take Faeria, depending on what our opponent gets up to. But as long as we can answer our opponent's Faeria investment and just stay ahead that way, we'll be in a good spot. This might just be a Wind Soldier. Nope, it's a Fanatic. So that's 3 Faeria for my opponent to play this card. I spend 2 Faeria to clear it. Maybe draw a card this turn. Puts me ahead. Hellfire, okay. Alright, go for the Cypher's Wrath. Now if my opponent passes on this turn, I have the opportunity then to Hellfire, because my opponent will be only on 6 Faeria. Does go for the Wind Soldier now, just going to unlock that. I wasn't sure if that was off the top. Just dealing with this problem now, rather than later. So if I pick up another Crystal Flower, I'll be in a very good position. But no, I pick up Havoc. Not great. There it is. Where do I want to put it? Let's stick it here. It's kind of awkward. Make sure the Manta can't collect. Now if a champion comes down, I can just Havoc that. Maybe +1. Get ahead in the Faeria game. It's going to be a Wind Soldier again. Is there a training here? Training's pretty good. Training's pretty good, actually. Yeah, training just gets to clean out that Manta Rider and kind of reset back to where we were in the last turn. So now I would like to see maybe a Cypher's Wrath. I can Flame Burst Cypher's Wrath. Yeah, I'm just going to +1 here. Go for the Hellfire. Double flame, triple flame burst, derelict tower. Now I need to be aware that soul draining your own creature is a thing, and can heal my opponent, so I can't completely give up ball control just yet. I do feel I need to chip away at my opponent a little more first. Very much depends on what my opponent does. Might just play a champion here, shimmy, and then attack. And I can just havoc this and +1. No? It's an air elemental. Okay, takes the collection. I respect that, going for the economy. That's pretty good. So I'll +1, and I guess I will gear towards my win condition. Let's start pinging base. Triple Flame Burst in hand. I've now set up lethal, at least. I just need 9 Faeria to do it. Might see a mobility trick. Yeah, shimmy around here, kill the Derelict Tower. 9 Faeria to spend. 5 cards in hand. Might see a champion come down. Maybe like Kaleem. Maybe a Drake Rider. It's quite popular now, that card. Very good like neutral card that everyone can use. It just opens up a lot of options. Oh wow, I really want to find a Firestorm. Firestorm would be pretty good. Divine Guardian. We're just gonna +1 and pass, and just hope there's not a Soul Drain in hand. This is some of the kind of some of the problems of the deck. You kind of have to cross your fingers and hope your opponent doesn't have healing, so you can set up your lethal. Because now a Soul Drain on any of these creatures just messes me up big time. And yellow has more healing now with the spirit theft. Make sure I got that card name correctly. I'm still learning the card type. It's not a card I've used myself yet. It's a Soul Drain. Yeah, Spirit Theft. So Soul Drain's the own guy. Puts him out of the double Flame Burst range. I still have options, at least. I can Havoc this, and then I could maybe set up Divine Guardian. Divine Guardian. Flame Burst. I don't know. Don't know how I feel about that. If I +1, I can Havoc, Divine Guardian, Flame Burst. If I draw, I could draw Cypher's Wrath, but I'm not too keen on it. So let's go for that plan instead. If I can get this double collect, I might be in a position where I can just Crystal Flower the next threat, double collect for another turn, and then start working out how I win the game. The biggest problem I have right now is Wind Soldier Kaleem's training, which we've already seen. So it's looking like this is a really hard matchup for me. Unless I pick up like an early Firestorm and do a massive board swing. But like I said, I have played against this opponent before, so my opponent does know what's going on. And I think knowledge is power when you face this deck. It's troubling to kind of realize a few turns in, oh man, this is actually a burn play. I've already taken so much damage. I don't really have options in hand to stop it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be a champion, alright. Flashwind. You're going to take that 4 damage. Okay, so I get to double collect for a turn. That's pretty good. I can just Crystal Flower this up. Or even just go for Havoc. This is a little cheaper, so I'll take the Crystal Flower. And then I can Firebomb this and keep the Flame Bursts for lethal if it ever comes up. Might actually just pop the Divine Guardian with a Wind Soldier. I had no choice though. Like I had to get rid of this. It represents more damage. Yep, gonna pop that Divine Shield. Still on 4 life. I'm not dead. I have options. Unless another creature's played. No, no other creature was played. Alright. Sort of still in. There's one Wind Soldier left. The Wind Soldier Khalim's training is lethal. Colossus, I can havoc it. Feels good. But I am just playing catch up here. Boom. 9 damage. Another Colossus. No. Crystal Flower? Crystal Flower? Anyone? Divine Guardian. That gives me time. I have to draw because I need to find an answer to this. So if I draw the Havoc, I'm still sort of in. Sort of. Unless my opponent just plays another creature, then I'm out. I'm just gonna write it off. Oh, another Colossus. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let me have it. She didn't last that long, unfortunately. I need a miracle. There is no miracle. And there we go. Just a little fairy. Well played to my opponent there. You know, adapted to the last time we played. And able to finish things off. But there we have it. That concludes this episode. I'm kind of glad the deck isn't as devastating as it was for my climb. You know, it was very, very good, but it's kind of taken a hit since I've got to God rank, which is a good thing because I don't want this deck to be too popular. I enjoy it, but it's not really a healthy meta deck. But yeah, there we have it. That concludes this episode of Become a God. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A bit of an interesting choice for my first dive into the Everlife, but I have had to have time to kind of figure out what the cards do. I need to get some of the cards myself by playing through and getting those battle chests. So I did spend a lot of my first few hours with the Everlife, just kind of getting the cards. But now I have all the cards. I did finish off the collection today, which is great. And this can enable me to test some other decks and try out some more fun stuff. But I thought I'd revisit this and just see how it goes. I think it's pretty decent. Has some bad matchups. The old deck did as well, so not much has changed. I picked up some new tools in forms of removal and a new legendary, and of course the Shadow Silk as well. It's a kind of card draw Faeria collector, which is quite nice, but overall not that strong. But if you like this style of deck, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, drop a subscribe to keep up to date of when our content goes live. So everything before this video is without the Everlife. So all the content going forward will feature Everlife cards. I will be doing a card review. I know it's a little bit delayed, but I needed to unlock the cards to have a little play with them to see how I felt about them. But there's also a really good review on the hub by Xged, who's asked a lot of community members as well as employees from Abercom what their favourite card is and why they think they're strong. So I'll just definitely check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below, so you can just easily go there and check out that article from Xged. So big shout outs to him for putting the effort and gathering all that feedback from key community members. So until next time, guys, take care and enjoy my red burn.